Flash drives. Hey, I mentioned this a little while ago, right? I mentioned the SD cards, right? Well, here's a picture of a fairly typical, like all-in-one reader because there's all these different types of external flash card media types. Sony had their own exclusive like memory stick. Well, basically the idea here is, yeah, there are a number of different types, but in today's world, it's all evolving to the SD card. Okay, it's all evolving just into your standard SD card. And from there, I will tell you, besides SD cards, you also want to be familiar with your mini and your micro SD cards. Not so much for the PCs themselves, but where we see our mini and our micro SD cards is on our tablets and on our phones. You see them all over the place. And you may want to be able to quickly and easily transfer data back and forth between your tablet and your phone and your computer. And that's why you need to have a card reader that can support this. Now, there's all sorts of adapters that you can use. There's a very typical adapter where you take a micro SD card and you end up putting it in a casing, or sometimes you slide it in the back of what looks like a standard SD card. But all it is it's a shell so that it'll fit into your SD card reader on your computer. There's also real common USB converters as well, where you take your SD card, you pop it into a little casing that then plugs into a USB port. All sorts of different options out there, but this is a great way to transfer data very quickly. Okay, again, USB drives. One thing I want to mention, and it's not just the USB drives, but as a whole, when it comes to external data, keep in mind that although there are benefits to having external data, there are also potential security risks with external data. Once the data leaves the box, and especially if it's being handed off from one person to another, it could end up in the wrong hands. So there are various security technologies that you can also build into this external media to help keep your data secure. Now, there's one other type of external storage. There's actually different versions of this, but I figured I'd throw this one out there. Network attached storage. And this is the idea where you have storage, you have this file-based storage system that is out on a network. And that's what I mean by IP-based. It's an actual piece of storage that has an IP address and it's Ethernet attached, meaning it is attached via your Ethernet network. Okay, it's actually connected via RJ45 connector on Ethernet cable. And it's more often than not appliance-based. In other words, it's specifically a NAS device. It's not a computer. It is an external piece of storage that is listed as a NAS device. Okay? But the point is, you can have storage out on the network. And that is something that you're seeing more and more of. Storage options are getting to be super crazy, especially with everything moving to, and I am making air quotes right now, the cloud. Okay, so storage is being put out into the cloud, both privately and publicly, as far as the private cloud, public cloud. I don't want to get completely off base here, but I just want you to understand that storage is not, considered to be something that you just keep inside the computer anymore.